Once upon a time, you've probably heard various rhymes from an old mother bird. If you remember these tales and enjoy listening still, then you might pay a visit to the town of Gooseville. From days spent in diapers, one yet may recall a brief tale of an egg who fell off a wall. If you assumed it complete, then it's probably time to hear unabridged Humpty Dumpty's full rhyme. As the mayor of Gooseville, Humpty's main chore was helping his neighbors. But lately old Dumpty preferred just to snore. Ow. From loving his neighbor, Humpty's heart had recoiled, and lately had seemed a little hard-boiled. From the stress of his job, his shell now showed crackage. How he longed to escape on a vacation package. Maybe one day, pondered the mayor with longing, just as his doorbell started ding-donging. Oh, hello, baby bear.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. Can't wait to grant a favor to anyone who needs our help.
Pardon, little neighbor, you'll have to come back later. I'm trying to repair my shell.
But I want to lend a hand out to any needs that stand out. I could be a neighbor saver.
You're a great debater, but this mayor's opting out.
Opting out?
He heard Baby Bear say, I don't have time to help my neighbors today.
But I've made a list and checked it twice of all of our neighbors.
Who've been naughty or nice?
No, all of our neighbors who need help or advice.
What a long list of favors. More favors than there's neighbors. I don't have time to help them out.
Don't be silly, Mr. Mayor. You're the greatest neighbor. It's what being mayor's all about.
I guess we'd best get started before my shell gets parted.
Time to be a friendly neighbor.
Or a more exhausted mayor.
Our friends could use some helping out.
No chance you'd come back later.
You're so silly, Mr. Mayor. Our neighbors need some helping out. Why don't we start with little Bo Peep? Guess what has happened to all of her?
Sheep? This isn't the first time that I've heard this rhyme.
I don't know anyone cooler than you. One day, I'd like to be mayor too.
It's true, Bo Peep's sheep were rarely beside her. And today, they all seemed especially hyper. Wow! Watch where you're going! You could have broken my shell! Said the delicate mayor with a frustrated yell.
Little Bo Peep! Help me, please! I've lost my sheep! They all seem to be playing hide and go seek!
You need to remember to close the sheep's pen. If you do, then I'm sure this won't happen.
What do you think he was gonna say? Probably again. How could you tell? Because it rhymes.
On the back of the sheep of little Bo Peep, Mayor Humpty rode briskly all over the streets. But when the sheep stumbled on a stack of burritos, Humpty flew through the air like a startled torpedo. As Mama Bear placed the lovely bow in her hair, Humpty landed head first in her living room chair.
Mayor Dumpty, my goodness, what a pleasant surprise. I did not expect you till 5:15.
As Mayor Dumpty rolled so his head pointed upward, Mama Bear told him,
I am indubitably flustered. We have neighborhood problems we'd like to address.
I mean, would you just look at that mess? It was sad but true that living inside that kooky old shoe was old Mother Hubbard, who had so many children she didn't know what to do.
It's simply a terrible sight, don't you think?
Our property value's probably gone down the sink.
Neighbors who lack such obvious manners drive me totally cuckoo, crazy bananas.
I'm coming for you, you crazy furball!
But wait, we're not done complaining at all.
Hi, neighbor. Want to go jogging or lift up some weights? Today is a very important date. I've got to be nimble. I've got to be quick, because I'm about to jump over a candlestick.
Right. You know, I'll catch you later. As Humpty Dumpty ran up the hill and back, he nearly tripped right over Jill and Jack. They desperately wanted help with their art because, according to them,
The whole world is falling apart! Me and Jill ran down the hill to fetch construction paper. But we both fell down and broke our crayons.
And then we lost our stapler!
well, have you tried looking at the well?
And why would we look at the well, pray tell?
Well, in case your stapler fell down it. Farewell! And the mayor ran away, leaving more neighbors in dismay.
Hello there, little lost sheep. Would you happen to be looking for something to eat? Well, here's a little treat.
And just as Goldilocks fed him some straw,
Sorry about that.
my, your screams really are something.
It's quite a surprise finding the mayor on my street. Maybe you could help me find some porridge to eat.
Porridge? Why would you want to eat that gooey goo? Go and ask your mom for some toast and beef stew.
But porridge is what I like eating most, more than peanut butter, jelly, or beef stew with toast. Of course, my tummy is pretty rumbly today. I could probably eat a whole porridge buffet.
How about your neighbors? You should knock on their door. Perhaps they'd have some extra porridge to pour. Although he had helped only little Bo Peep, Mayor Dumpty returned to his own home to sleep.
Don't worry, Mr. Mayor. It's just me. And the rest of the town. They all needed help and you weren't around. So I brought them all here to the foot of your step. Mr. Mayor!
What is it, Miss Muffet?
I need your help badly. There's a thorn in my tuffet. Forget about that. What about my front lawn?
I need your help training for the decathlon.
A stapler we never found at the well.
Oh, we located with this old cowbell.
With so many neighbors who needed attention, his poor shell continued to crack from the tension. What should I do? He wondered aloud, while on his front door the neighbors did pound. And that's when it hit him, like a full ton of smackage. I'm going to go on that vacation package. While Humpty escaped from his mayorly house, he did so as quiet as a little... Hi! He did so as quiet as a really loud mouse.
Mr. Mayor, do you have just a second for me? My bug net needs fixing, you see?
Humpty gathered his thoughts with some consternation. Baby Bear, I'm sorry. I'm on neighbor vacation. I've had enough helping everyone else. I'd like to, right now, help only myself.
Oh, okay.
Baby Bear said, kind of sad. And Humpty, in turn, felt a little bit bad. And when I say little, I mean just a tad. Yes, I'm looking for Gooseville's Great Wall Vacation.
Then look no further than this elevator, sir, for the elevation vacation to which you refer.
Okay. Shouldn't we be moving by now?
Whenever you're ready.
The bellhop said with a bow. Then Humpty began to have the realization that Gooseville's Great Wall was a help-yourself kind of vacation. Humpty Dumpty scaled the tall wall. Humpty Dumpty had a few minutes to stall. From all the exhaustion, Humpty started to swoon, causing a drop like a big lead balloon.
What a close call. With such a delicate shell, I'm sure you're afraid to fall.
Where's all all the hammocks, the tea, lemonades, and siesta mariachis playing nap serenades.
I'm sorry, sir, but didn't you see? Everything here is BYOMLAT.
BYOMLAT?
Bring your own mariachis, lemonade, and tea.
What about napping supplies?
The sad mayor said. Yeah, it's also BYONSAP. Bring your own napping supplies and a bed. I've worked here for years, and I can attest that helping yourself is what we do best.
But when Humpty considered his neighbors in town, his frown began turning and stopped upside down. From all of the stress, he was finally free, which made Gooseville's Great Wall the best place to be. And so Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great shawl that his grandmother gave him for such an occasion. Who needs all those neighbors with so many needs? I'm doing much better helping just me. Oh, perfect. But Baby Bear was still being a kind-hearted fellow.
Aren't you a helpful lad to remove a thorn from my pillow?
And amongst the flamingos, Goldie stood in a chair, hoping tonight her mom would prepare.
A great bowl of porridge which we all could share.
Meanwhile, Humpty was feeling quite dumpy. Not comfy enough and clearly not snoring, he was finding this place to be rather boring. And trying to look for a new thing to do, he saw something which promised a spectacular view. Nothing spectacular that I can see. Just a town still in need of assistance from me. But then Humpty saw something which made his heart heavy. Sweet little Goldie and family with just 2 strings of spaghetti.
Mama, is there any porridge I can have? Spaghetti gives me the hiccups. Real bad.
I'm sorry, sweet Goldie,
Her old mother said.
but I've no other food to give you instead.
Why, that little girl should have more food to eat. What uncaring neighbors she has on her street. If I weren't up here and she weren't down there, I'd give her every last bit of food I could spare. Huh? What are you doing? Don't walk on their grass. Mama Bear'll go bonkers if she thinks you've trespassed.
Hello?
No one loved porridge more than Ma and Pa Bear.
Is anyone here?
So Goldie dropped by, hoping they'd have some to share.
Porridge!
What are you doing? Don't eat the bear's food. If they find you, they'll be in quite a bad mood. No, no, no! That one's so hot it's steaming!
Ouch!
But Goldie was too distant to hear Humpty screaming. That one's so chilly it may give you frostbite. Well, that one should probably be about right. But according to Goldie, it was more than just right. That bowl of porridge was just...
Dynamite!
Now get out of their house or you'll be in a pickle. And that's when the telescope ran out of nickel. Oh, I simply can't fix every problem I see. I have plenty to do, taking care of just me. And so Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great ball of yarn from which he would knit, while ignoring his neighbors and sort of feeling bad about it. And while Humpty remained in his vacation bubble, sweet Goldilocks fell more deeply in trouble. Immediately after her warm porridge snacking, she said to herself,
I'm ready for napping.
But just then downstairs, that family of bears sat down to eat in their dining room chairs. And when Mama looked down at their table so fair, her heart was a-flutter, and she felt quite a scare.
Baby, didn't you used to have porridge in there?
I think maybe I heard something upstairs.
Look, there's somebody sleeping in my bed.
Then a startled Goldie screamed with dread. Goldilocks' shriek was heard everywhere, even all the way up to the ears of the mayor. What in the world is going on here? What was going on here, you might have guessed, was the makings of an epic nursery rhyme mess. One of Baby Bear's spiders frightened Miss Muffet, who jumped up and down on top of her buffet, spilling her curds and whey on the hill, while Jack and Jill looked for their stapler still. Both of them slipped and fell on their backs, then slid down the hill and bumped into Jack. And although he was nimble, and although he was quick, unfortunately Jack ran into his stick, which proceeded to shoot a flame in the air and landed atop the very barn where little Bo Peep keeps the rest of her sheep. Not knowing what was happening, the sheep went insane, charging right toward Humpty like a woolly bullet train. Sheep! The frightened creatures rammed into the brick with a smack, fracturing the wall, causing Humpty to fall and land on his back. Help! I've fallen and I can't get up!
Mr. Mayor! Mr. Mayor!
Oh, good.
It's
Mama Bear, could you?
Mr. Mayor, I have terrible news for you. Gooseville's been ruined and no one knows what to do.
Well, don't look at me. It was clearly the fault of little Bo Peep. What made all this mess was her stampeding sheep.
My sheep and I are not chiefly to blame. Jumping Jack's candle set my barn into flame.
I'm usually nimble and really quite quick. Jack and Jill are the ones who caused me to trip.
But none of this would have happened today.
If Miss Muffet hadn't spilled her curds and whey.
How could you make such a boorish connection? It's the fault of this bear and his bug collection.
No. The fault belongs to this lass there. Her scream was so loud it broke all our glassware.
This trespassing girl lacks all sorts of manners. What's more, I'm afraid I've gone cuckoo bananas.
I'm sorry.
Goldilocks said, looking blue.
I didn't mean to trouble any of you. When I was hungry for food, I came to your door, but I won't make that mistake anymore. Does this mean you're not gonna help me find all my sheep?
Your sheep?
What about our house and our lawn?
Our stapler!
My tuffet!
The spring marathon!
But Humpty was thoughtful as he realized that he was the cause of poor Goldilocks' cries. Excuse me. As your mayor, I've made a lot of mistakes. And right now, I have a confession to make. This mess is my fault. Because I didn't care. If only I'd been more like you, Baby Bear. In the silence, the townsfolk all felt Humpty's pain. Then upon introspection, they all took the blame.
I see that at times we have each been uncaring.
From now on, we commit to be helpful.
And sharing!
Oh, well then, if someone could help me get unstuck from this plight, we have now a matter we need to make right. Huh? Oh, hey, what are you gonna do with that? Ow, that's a lot of pressure. Compressing! Humpty Dumpty shot up like a big cannonball, and Humpty Dumpty had yet another great fall. But this time, his neighbors were there after all. And though Humpty Dumpty's shell was quite cracked, his friend needed help, and he needed to act. Little Goldie, we're sorry for being unkind. Will you forgive us, my dear, for being so blind? I called every neighbor here on your street to help you and your family get more to eat.
Is that porridge?
As your mayor, I'd like to officially say we'll all be better neighbors starting today. So on behalf of all of your friends, let the porridge festivity... And then it happened again. But this time, when Humpty Dumpty recovered, the town was amazed to discover that the porridge filled cracks and bonded so well, it instantly mended Humpty's eggshell. Now every time Humpty looks at the wall, he remembers his great disastrous fall with no one aware, till along came a bear who knew what it meant to be a neighbor who cares.
When you get stuck in a pickle, a friend to lend a little hand. When you're short a dime or nickel, a friend to lend a little hand.
Frenzy here
a little hand.
Whether little or a big friend, whether tiny or a tall friend, there's no such thing as a small friend.
But no one till I can do it all, friend.
La 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 la. When your patience isn't lasting,
A friend will lend a little hand.